This group of young people is playing a spiritual game in the cemetery. They picked up an old mat left behind.
Bismillah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. La ilaha illallah.
Sitting here, trying to figure out why this alien is motherfucking staying.
This is a terrifying paranormal game that you do not want to play.
First games you should never play. Part 48. The Salt Merchant.
The photographs showed children in Mark's classroom with their eyes blindfolded and their mouths covered in tape. And some of the photos.
The world is distracted, but behind the noise, something ancient is moving. What they call entertainment often hides an initiation. What looks like games are often gateways. From spirits caught on camera, to rituals disguised as trends, to human evil darker than any demon. We're exposing it all tonight. This is more than paranormal. This is spiritual warfare. And the enemy isn't hiding anymore. Welcome to the chaos. Let's get diving.
Papa, spin the blue flower. I'm watching TV. My daughter's watching Paranormal beside me.
There was no one over there. It's just you, me, and Tanya.
I got the audacity to challenge me in my own house? Come on, bro. The hide and seek king. I know where y'all at. I see you right there, bro.
Hello?
Oh my God!
As y'all can see, I'm at the gas station. Look at this. What is this? What is this? What? Honey, some things we just don't touch, even as a dog collector. What in the boogity?
Muéstrame tu poder, Jundillo. Ruso. Se está moviendo. La Biblia. Amigos, se está moviendo la Biblia.
A distraught mother,
who had just lost her little baby girl, swears this is the spirit of her baby girl. The baby had lost its life in the garage, and that's where her spirit is captured here on security camera. It's a beautiful but heartbreaking moment for the mother.
What was that noise? I think your dog just moved. Shut up. No, I'm serious. No, you're not.
I'm putting them like that because they're easier to move then. Can you move any of these two glasses? They're really easy to move now, they're on the side. So if you can just push them at all.
Oh my god! Turn the light on, man.
When chairs move on their own and shadows pass without footsteps, you know something's there, but you can't see it. When the veil is thin, that's what we're watching now. The veil is thinning, and I know a lot of you can attest that you're feeling the heaviness in the air. Alright, let's keep diving.
This footage was filmed by Lise Valdersrecker while he was at work one night. He says strange things are always heard and seen, and this is who Lise begins to film the activity. These strange things terrified Lise so much because of the intensity, leaving him to quit and leave. As he states, the only thing you can do is run away from that place.
Voy a grabar porque estoy en mi trabajo y vine a dejar unas cosas, pero aquí siempre se escuchan cosas raras. Pero hoy, en el rato que llevo aquí, o sea, de plano ya son ruidos muy raros y voy a ver si puedo grabar algo. Este apagador está atorado, no puedo presionarlo, creo que no sirve y ni siquiera hay focos donde debería de haber. Este es un área como de se almacenan muchas cosas viejas, pero la verdad ahorita yo estoy solito aquí. Tengo mucho, no mames. ¿Qué fue eso? Ay, no sé si sea buena idea. No sé si sea buena idea. Yo aquí no hay nada.
Up to this point, he has only recorded poltergeist phenomena. It becomes evident that Lise is nervous and scared. He is so terrified that at times the camera shakes in his hand. But as he continues, things begin to escalate. Keep watching.
Ay, no sé qué fue eso. O sea, está súper rarísimo. No sé qué habrá sido, la verdad. Pero donde más escuché es allá arriba y la neta me están temblando las piernas para subir. No, no mames. Algo se está moviendo allá arriba. No mames. No mames, ¿qué fue eso? Me están temblando las piernas para subir. No, no mames. Algo se está moviendo allá arriba. No mames. Allá arriba. No mames. No mames, ¿qué fue eso? No manches. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? No mames. No mames, no mames. Esto fue lo que se movió. Me está temblando la mano. Uf. Ay. Tengo las orejas hasta calientes. Aquí no. Pues aquí nadie tiene acceso. O sea, no sube nadie. O sea, ahorita les voy a enseñar que no hay nada. Nada, ni nadie aquí. Mames. De hecho, está como cerrada. Aquí. No hay nada. Miren aquí de este. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No mames. No mames. ¿Qué fue eso? No manches. ¿Qué fue eso? No manches.
This phenomenon happens so often and goes on for hours at times, and because of this, it no longer scares the couple who live there. They believe could be the spirit of a child, interesting in the swing as she reminds itself of Earth's simplest of pleasures for children. I do wonder though, could the spirit have attached to this swing because it's where it met its end?
You can deny spirits all you want, but something is moving in these clips. And it ain't just the wind. Notice how the third swing wasn't moving at all. If it was the wind, all three swings would have been moving. Alright, you ready to keep diving? Let's go.
Home. The director states that one afternoon, strange things began to happen out of nowhere. The coffins began to creak and shake, a strange phenomenon. He also stated that one in particular began to tremble in a strange way, so he takes out his phone, hoping that the phenomenon would happen again, and he can capture on camera. He wasn't let down. Within minutes the phenomenon began again.
Miren, como tenemos rato escuchando ruidos aquí en esta zona. Si vemos, pues está solo. Y creemos que pues hay algo aquí, porque pues se empiezan a mover así como que medio raro. Miren. Miren cómo se mueve, miren. Miren cómo se mueve. No hay nada. Está mi compañero, pero pues si vemos estamos solos.
As you can see, when the director approaches the one coffin in particular, he opened the door to show us that there was no one inside the coffin. It was totally empty. He is completely baffled and doesn't know how to explain this phenomenon. Very strange indeed.
Miren, como tenemos rato escuchando ruidos aquí en esta zona. Si vemos, pues está solo. Y creemos que pues hay algo aquí, porque pues se empiezan a mover así como que medio raro. Miren. Miren cómo se mueve, miren. Miren cómo se mueve. No hay nada.
Nah, y'all ever been in a bathroom skipping alone, bro? This shit is crazy. I'm in here, bro, just alone, and it's like mad weird, bro. Cause like, what if there was some monster or some shit just pop up on me? That shit would be crazy, bro. So I don't know. Like, there's nobody in here. You could come out and shit. I don't even know, bro, but yeah, there's nobody right here, bro. But this shit's crazy, bro. I don't know, but that shit's mad weird. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Something supernatural is going on here.
Look right here. Look right here. Right here. Look. Watch. What is that? What is that? And it's just gone, bro. Look at this shit. It's there, and now it's not. It's there, and now it's not, bro. What is that? Bruh. What is that? What is that? And then it's just gone. Bruh. What is that? One more time. Bruh. What is that? What is that?
Oh! Did this man just grab a ghost by the hair? Oh! This is different. He ain't playing. Now see right here, this right here is gangster ghosting. He get this called gangster ghosting right here. He ain't playing. Come here. Hey, this is new ghost hunting right here. Look at this. Oh man. Hey, all ghost hunting ain't the same. You hear me? Oh man.
Hell no. 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 Hell no.
Vonko Wessler posted this short clip of a poltergeist levitating an 8-year-old boy named Sean Shapiro above his bed. Slowed down so you could see the boy levitating better. Mellow1RD has been documenting the poltergeist activity in his home. In this clip, he catches a pot lid levitating all by itself.
I think. At least it didn't break. Thank you for that too, but can you do something on camera, please? Throw something small and cheap. Come on, do something, please. Thank you. something over here. Oh, it was this lid. Let's flip the lid over. Yes, I know what it's like to flip your lid. You make me flip my lid.
Slowed down, you can see the pot lid levitating.
This next segment, we're going to focus on paranormal rituals, games found on TikTok. Now, these aren't just paranormal, rituals, and they're not just trends. They're traps. Kids and even grown adults are messing with portals they don't understand, letting in spirits from the other realm. This isn't a joke, it's spiritual warfare. And with the veil thinning, the devil loves a curious mind.
Now we're talking about the Answer Man game. This game's goal is to try to get the Answer Man on the phone so that you can ask him questions. But beware, every question that you ask him, he gets to ask a question too. You need 10 people to play and you each need a cell phone, preferably a burner phone. It can be played any place, anytime. Sit in a circle and each one of you calls the person to the left at the exact same time, so make sure you guys already have the numbers dialed and you count to 3. If all the callers go to voicemail, then the ritual failed and you have to try again later. If 9 calls go to voicemail and 1 picks up, you got the Answer Man. He should start to speak. Now you can ask the Answer Man a question. Listen to his answer carefully and then make sure when he asks his question, you answer truthfully. You can ask as many questions as you want, but you'll have to answer all of his too. If you lie, a part of your body will start to tingle, a finger, whatever, and sometime after it will fall off. That's his price for lying.
This is a terrifying paranormal game that you do not want to play. This is the Creature of the Night ritual. Disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. The point of this game is to summon the Creature of the Night, a humanoid creature which resides deep in the deserts of Southwest America and Mexico. If you successfully summon him, it's said that you will be granted any one wish of your choosing. The Creature of the Night is a humanoid being which is said to measure up to 9 feet tall. He has extremely long arms and legs and feet that measure up to 2 feet long, allowing him to move at rapid speeds. And he has extremely long talons for fingers. It's said that in order to carry out this ritual, you will need to begin at 12 midnight and carry on until 6 a.m. Things that you will need include a cactus, something of value to you, a lighter, a candle, a flashlight, and salt. Can you do the 7 deadly sins ritual? This ritual is so creepy. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. Disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't suggest any of you guys try this at home. So basically the point of this ritual is to be able to gain the power to detect somebody's intentions right when you meet them. So you can look at somebody and be able to tell right off the bat if their intentions with you are pure or not. It's said that you need to start around midnight and what you need is salt, a candle, something to light it with, a writing utensil and a piece of paper, and then something of sentimental value to you. It's said that you need to make a ring of salt on the floor big enough for somebody to stand inside, with no gaps in the salt or the evil could escape. After that, you need to write your name on the piece of paper and put it inside the circle of salt. Then light your candle and hold it in your left hand and hold in your right hand the thing of sentimental value to you. Now you need to say a chant, and this is where it gets really freaky. I won't say the full chant because I don't want you to try this, but you're supposed to end it off with basically you're offering a friendship to the devil. Then you have to blow out your candle, count to 13, and then relight your candle. And once you relight the candle, you should see a figure standing in front of you in the circle of salt. They'll offer you a gift. You're supposed to say, no, that's not necessary, but they'll insist. It's said that you'll start to feel faint and then you'll fall to the floor, passed out. You'll then wake up in an entirely different world with a huge maze in front of you. You're supposed to follow the maze until you reach a room. And there will be 7 rooms. Each room will be a series of the 7 deadly sins. Anything with religious iconography gives me the creeps. Each room is a trap, and if you give in, then you will be trapped forever. For example, the first room, there will be a huge feast with all of your favorite foods. If you give in and eat anything, even if you just take a lick, you'll become so hungry, so starving that you'll eat everything in the room, but you won't get full, and eventually you'll explode. In another room, there will be people calling insults to you and poking you with sharp objects. If you get angry and retaliate at these people, then you will be consumed into anger for the rest of your life. In another room, you'll be so tired, but if you close your eyes and go to sleep, you will never wake up. You won't be dead, but you'll just be asleep forever. Through all of these 7 rooms, you'll be congratulated at the end by the same figure that was there earlier. Door A, he will offer you a life of ignorance. This is a trap. Don't choose door A. It means you'll never be able to think for yourself again. In door B, you'll have the option to walk through the door and walk back to the room that you did the ritual in. Back to your normal life. Except now, you'll have the gift of being able to tell people's intentions with you right from the start. You will always be able to sniff out a lie. So which one would you choose? A life of ignorance or a life of knowing whenever anything is a lie?
Of someone get creeped out, let's talk about the man in the fields ritual. Terrifying. Disclaimer, don't do this. Don't try this at home. Thank you. Am I still going to tell you about it? It's creepy and interesting. So sue me. So what is this ritual? Essentially, it's a ritual that gives you an entire year of safety, but at a cost. In return, you must survive a terrifying hide and seek like ritual. Once you've finished the ritual, a figure called the man in the fields will appear in your yard, and he will stand silently in your yard until sunrise. If you mess up the ritual, you might see him in your house instead. So literally don't love that at all. It has a little bit of the Midnight Man, the Midnight Game, the Midnight Ritual, whatever the fuck you call it. It has a little bit of those vibes, but higher stakes and higher reward. Because like in the Midnight Game, is there any reward? I don't think so. But the rewards you get depend on when you start the ritual. What you need: a house with a backyard or a garden, 1 room with only 1 door. This becomes your safe room, a candle or lantern, no electric light, a crucifix. You know it's going to be bad when you need a crucifix, and an analog clock or watch. No phones. So you have to begin the ritual after sunset, ideally at around 9 p.m. and at least 1 hour before midnight. The better the reward, the later you start the ritual, which means like the less time you have to figure all this out and not fuck yourself over. So if you begin the ritual 3 hours before midnight, you get physical safety for a year. No illnesses, no injury. You're going to be in perfect condition, okay? Brand new, squeaky clean. If you begin 2 hours before midnight, you get the physical safety plus financial safety. You would never want money for a whole calendar year. Should I do this ritual? Just kidding. Please don't do this, but like seriously, I might have to. If you begin 1 hour before midnight, you get the prior 2 things: physical safety, financial safety for a year, but also your actions have no negative consequences in any way for 1 calendar year. So I don't know. Sounds a little crazy to me, but hey, that's not the point. The point is how terrifying this ritual is. The catch, of course, is that it is very unlikely you would be able to complete this ritual within an hour. Here's the beginning of the ritual, which we'll call the summoning, which right there. Let me tell you a little bit about what you're summoning, who the man in the fields is, or at least a little bit about him. He appears like a scarecrow at first, but he's not a scarecrow. He's tall. He has wrong proportions. Like his body, it doesn't make sense, which is so creepy. Oh God, but I love it. He's also missing his head. I don't know why that seems like a secret in this ritual, or like you can't say that. I don't know. Anyways, specifically in the ritual, they say he's missing a part of his anatomy similar to a specific horseman, which I'm seeing the headless horseman. So he's missing his head, but why is it like said so cryptically? I don't know. First step, there cannot be any people in your yard or in your home other than you. I hate that. You stand in your backyard facing the house. You say 7 times aloud, but who will scare the crows away? Creepy. If you hear nothing, this summoning has failed, and you're supposed to leave your house until 6 a.m. Feels dramatic, but whatever. If you hear a voice say, "I will," it worked, and you're supposed to return inside and not look behind you. It does also say that maybe you just hear the voice in your head, okay? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical voice behind you, but if you hear physically, "I will," or you hear it in your head, this ritual is started, baby. Now, you go into your safe room, the room with only 1 door. Ideally, the room should be empty of all objects, but if it is not, which most likely it isn't, you are supposed to close anything that could open. Closets, drawers, windows, doors, boxes, containers, bags. You get the picture. If you can open it, make sure it's closed. And it says in bold, do not miss anything. So this is important. Now you're going to leave your crucifix in the safe room. Now you need to move through the entire house and close every open object before midnight. So again, doors, windows, boxes, cupboards, like a Tupperware, everything that you can close. You gotta close. Super creepy part here. While you're doing this ritual, you might see a man with ashen skin in your peripheral vision. I think I'm just gonna have to deal with being broke because I don't want that. Anyways, you're not supposed to look at him. Don't look at him. Don't make eye contact with him. Ignore him. Go about your business and don't worry because he's not the man in the fields. I'm still worrying. Who is he? Why is his skin ashen? Why is he in my home? I thought I just summoned some scarecrow guy, not this ashen man. Anyways, he's apparently, I guess, more like a referee. This is a soccer game. He's your ref. Now, the biggest rule in the game is do not look in the backyard. Do not look in the backyard. Do not look in the backyard. Don't do it. Don't look out the window into your backyard. If you have to close the window that looks out onto your backyard, you better be focusing on the little spinny thing or have your eyes closed. You can't look in the backyard. If you're a dumb biatch and you did look in the backyard, it says if you see the scarecrow, he will also see you and he'll start crawling down from his post. That's creepy. From the moment he sees you, you have 60 seconds, known as 1 minute, to get into your safe room and fix this shit and close and lock the door. Find that crucifix and grasp it tightly. Hold it with all of your will. Pray you didn't leave anything in the room open. Do not open the door before 6 a.m. no matter what you hear or don't hear outside. If you suddenly are hearing your grandma come to your house at 3 a.m. to bring you fucking soup, it's not your grandma. If you're hearing anyone who's like, it's fine, you know me, come out, you don't know them and you're gonna die. Okay, I'm just kidding. You don't know that you're gonna die, but just don't do it because it's gonna be bad. If you do open the door before 6 a.m. because you think your grandma is there to bring you soup, if you do, the man in the fields will take something from you. Something you need. Something you can't get ahead without. Your head. He's gonna take your head. He's gonna take it. And unless you have a horse and a whip made of spines to become the headless horseman, your life is looking pretty bleak from here. Now, back to the ritual, as if you didn't look at the man. You didn't look at the man in the fields, the scarecrow man. You didn't look at him. Once everything is shut, you go to bed. Close your eyes and don't open them, it says. Okay, why? Why? Why can I not open my eyes? Sleep if you can. And if you wake up in the morning, you won. You got that year of protection, of safety. And a little note, allegedly, a secluded house in the countryside with a field gives you stronger results. But what do you mean stronger results? That's what I want to know. Should we try to find stories of people who have tried this ritual? Let me know.
This group of young people is playing a spiritual game in the cemetery. They picked up an old mat left behind in the cemetery. This mat is used to cover the body of a person who has died in an accident, a custom in Southeast Asia. They performed a prayer and cast spells on a puppet. Then he stuffed the puppet into the mat and rolled it up, using 3 red threads to tie it up. They cast their spells again and waited. After lying still for a while, the mat began to move. And what the hell happened?
For 2, concentrate.
So playing Concentrate, that's the one where you see how you die, basically. I don't know. Let's see how
He's a little depressed, so he wants to know.
Yep.
Here we go.
How close are you getting?
I'm starting.
Writer.
Yeah. Concentrate. Concentrate. Concentrate on what I'm saying. People are dying. Children are crying. Concentrate. Concentrate. Concentrate on what I'm saying. Crack an egg on your head. Let the yolk run down. Let the yolk run down. You're standing on a building. You're out on a ledge. You're feeling very dizzy. And you're close to the edge. And someone pushes you.
Damn.
Alright, now you tell me what color you see.
I saw blue.
Really?
Yeah.
Just all blue?
Yeah.
Oh no. I'm cooked.
Want to get creeped out? Let's keep talking about the creepiest games and rituals that people play. Coming in at number 5 is called the Closet Game, and you can have a friend for this one. In this one, you're summoning a demon. Sounds fun? Why would anyone want to do this? I'll never do any of these, but moving on. You do risk being possessed in this one or being dragged to hell. So how do you do it? You get in your closet with some matches and you say a specific phrase that I'm not even going to say in my house. You hear anything, you light a match and get the fuck out of there. After which you should never open your closet door again without the lights on. Demon now calls it home. Coming in at number 4, we have the elevator ritual. For this one, you find an elevator and go up and down and continue doing that until a creepy old lady gets on the elevator with you. It says in the terrifying moment that she does appear, make sure you acknowledge her. At that point, you can take the elevator up to the 10th floor. At this point, you will have the chance to forfeit the ritual, but if you get off of the elevator and onto the 10th floor, you'll actually be entering into a different dimension. The lady will ask you where you're going, just ignore her. At this point, you can explore the alternate dimension, and when you're ready, get back to that elevator and follow the same steps to get back to this dimension. Coming in at number 3, we have the Midnight Game. In this one, you're essentially inviting a ghost into your house and having him chase you around in the dark for 3 hours. Sounds like fun. Also, this ritual begins with you pricking your finger for some blood, so if you don't like that, then this one's not for you. You follow the steps, which end in you opening a door to let the Midnight Man in, and the game begins. It's basically like a game of tag, but with dire consequences. You just have to keep moving around your house in the dark with a candle, I believe. You don't want the candle to go out. And as long as you do that and don't hear anything or see any ghostly figures, you should be all right. Coming in at number 2, we have the infamous Bloody Mary. I'm not gonna lie, every time I get up in the middle of the night to go pee, I think about this. And I start thinking it in my mind, like, you know when you don't want to think about something, so you just think about it? And then I'm thinking to myself, if I think it, is that the same as saying it? Am I gonna see something creepy or scary? And I just get the fuck out of there and back in bed as fast as possible. Anyways, I'm pretty sure you all know this one, but you say her name a few times in front of the mirror at night, and she's supposed to appear and try and kill you. She might strangle you, scratch out your eyes, or steal your soul. Coming in at number 1, we have Hide and Seek Alone. But it's not alone. You play it with a doll. So before you play, you'll remove the doll's stuffing and fill it with uncooked rice and one of your fingernails. After which you place it in water in either a sink or bathtub. Then you have to go seeking for an inanimate object specified in the instructions. Then you will stab the doll, pour salt over it, and give it a turn to find you. And you hide from the evil doll demon. I think not. Hello for creepy stories, creepy folklore, mythical creatures.
First games you should never play. Part 48. The Salt Merchant Ritual. This game will allow you to get a very mysterious prize. Begin at night. Now get 2 bags. One should be empty and one should be filled with salt. Now go to a cemetery or burial ground. Once you're there, you'll need to find a large old tree. Once you do, you'll sit on the ground facing it. Place the bag with salt in it to your left and the empty one to your right, but make sure both of them are within reach. Now you're ready to start. Put both of your hands into the salt. Get a fistful of salt in both hands and place your hands behind your back. Now close your eyes. Start chanting the phrase, "Salt, salt, come by my salt," over and over again. You'll keep chanting these words until you feel something slowly open your hands. Once you feel this, you can stop chanting. Now you may feel something being placed into your hands. Once you do not open your eyes, but bring your hands in front of you. Now put whatever is placed into your hands into the empty bag. Once you do this, you may open your eyes, but you cannot look into the bag. Now you'll need to repeat this process until all the salt is gone. Once the salt is gone, you'll need to get the 2 bags and leave the cemetery. Place the bag that you put all your stuff in into someplace safe. And after 3 weeks passes, you may look into it and see whatever gift you got.
Playing this game could lead to severe consequences. If you choose to play the Midnight Game, please be safe, but let me be very clear, I do not recommend it. The instructions for the Midnight Game appeared on the internet sometime around 2013, and the author is unknown. Here are the instructions for playing the Midnight Game. The Midnight Game is an old pagan ritual used mainly as punishment for those who have broken the laws of the pagan religion in question. While it is mainly used as a scare tactic to not disobey the gods, there is still a very real chance of death to those who play the Midnight Game. And there is an even higher chance of permanent mental scarring. It is highly recommended that you do not play the Midnight Game. But for those few thrill seekers searching for a rush or those delving into obscure occult rituals, these are the simple instructions on how to play. Do so at your own risk. It must be exactly 12 a.m. when you begin performing the ritual, otherwise it will not work. Materials required include a candle, a wooden door, at least 1 drop of your own blood, a piece of paper, matches or a lighter, and salt. If you're playing with multiple people, they will all need their own aforementioned materials and will have to perform the steps below separately. Step 1. Write your full name, first, middle, and last, on a piece of paper and put at least 1 drop of your blood onto the paper. Allow it to soak into the paper. Step 2. Turn off all the lights in the house, go to your front door, which must be wooden, and place the paper with your name on it in front of it. Now take the candle and light it. place the candle on top of the paper with your name. Step 3. Knock on your own door 22 times. The hour must be 12 a.m. upon the final knock. Then open the door, blow out the candle, and close the door. You have just allowed the Midnight Man into your house. Step 4. Immediately relight your candle. This is where the game begins. You must now lurk around your now completely dark house with the lit candle in hand. Your goal is to avoid the Midnight Man at all costs until exactly 3:33 a.m. Should your candle ever go out, then that means the Midnight Man is nearby. You must relight the candle within the next 10 seconds. If you're unsuccessful in relighting the candle, you must then immediately surround yourself with a circle of salt. If you're unsuccessful in both of those, the Midnight Man will then induce a hallucination of your greatest fear, which will last until 3:33 a.m. If you are successful in creating the circle of salt, you must stay within the circle until 3:33 a.m. You must continue until 3:33 a.m. without being attacked by the Midnight Man or being trapped within the circle of salt to win the Midnight Game. The Midnight Man will then leave at 3:33 a.m. and you will be safe to proceed with your morning. Indications that you are near the Midnight Man include a sudden drop in temperature, seeing a pure black humanoid figure through the darkness, and very soft whispering coming from an indiscernible source. If you experience any of these, it's advised that you leave the area to avoid the Midnight Man. Staying in one spot throughout the entire game will only result in the Midnight Man finding you. It is highly advised that you keep moving throughout the game. Do not turn on any lights during the Midnight Game. Do not use a flashlight during the Midnight Game. Do not go to sleep during the Midnight Game. Do not use another person's blood on your name. Do not use a lighter to substitute for a candle. It will not work. And definitely do not try to provoke the Midnight Man in any way. That's all. Have fun.
How to play the game that doesn't exist. They say there's a game hidden in the static of old televisions, burned onto discs that were never meant to be found. No developer claims it. No records exist. And yet people keep finding it. But if you start playing, you must finish. And whatever you do, never play past midnight. Step 1. You'll need an old CRT television, a blank VHS tape, or a burned disc with no label. The game only appears through forgotten technology, things left behind. If you see a file called do not open.x or a channel with no number, you've found it. Step 2. Load the game, but do not press start yet. Watch the menu screen closely. The title will change when you blink. The music will play in reverse if you listen too long. If you hear whispering from inside the speakers, turn it off immediately. If everything seems normal, you may begin. At first it will look like any other game, a maze, a platformer, a puzzle you don't remember installing. But the more you play, the more the game will seem strange. The levels will shift, the graphics will distort. You'll see things that shouldn't be there. By midnight, the game will start playing itself. Your controls won't work. The screen will flicker, and the whispers will return. And if you hear your own name, it's already too late.
So I love camping. I've camped in the Appalachians myself, Pearl and I. We go out there, we go with a group of friends, we barbecue, tell ghost stories, and we chop wood. It's an awesome time. But after seeing some of these clips, man, I'm thinking twice. You might think the forest is peaceful. It is. But in the darkness, something follows you, even amongst the trees. I remember one time when I took Pearl camping with us. It was like 10 of us out there, and she's just barking in the unknown. A lot of you may think it was just other animals, but there was an eerie vibe out there, and this was in Hunter Mountain, New York. And till this day, I slept with an axe, in my tent and my Glock, just in case. You never know if the wolfman, the dogman, come after you.
To hear footsteps outside his tent. This is why you stay armed while camping. An experienced camper from Russia named Tim Morozov was camping with his dog Kersham when he begins to hear footsteps outside his tent.
Кто здесь?
After some time, Tim decides to see who's out there. Then his dog Kersham suddenly runs into the woods, chasing after whatever was out there.
Друзья, я не знаю, что делать. Прошло уже 2 часа, как я зову Кучума. Он не приходит.
Unable to find Kersham, he begins to search the woods and finds handmade traps and objects.
Костер еще тепленький.
Still no signs of Kersham, he's forced to spend the night again and set up camp. Then something horrifying is captured.
Барабаны.
Whoever's living in these woods seems to send them warning shots. After some time hiding, Kersham also shows up as they get away from there. Could it be that Kersham was taken by whoever's out there, then freed after Tim was scared off? Let me know what you think happened here.
The story is about a man and his loyal dog who experienced something strange while camping in the woods. What starts as a fun night filming, a spider takes a mysterious turn.
He's leaving. What's he doing? It's like Charlotte's Web here.
Feeling a bit adventurous, the man decided to film a spider he spotted near the campfire. It seemed like a fun, harmless way to pass the time.
Where's he going? Wally, no. Wally.
As he was being entertained in filming, he suddenly heard something unusual, a sound that didn't fit with the quiet of the forest. We're following a brave camper who decided to venture into the heart of the forest, only to encounter something truly strange.
There's no one there, I swear. There was. I think I'm gonna go this.
Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to investigate, hoping to uncover the source of the unsettling noise.
That is a person. I'm not even joking. What the f... I can't see anything. Oh, what was that?
With a flashlight in hand, he ventured deeper into the forest, the darkness closing in around him. Then he saw it, a shape in the distance, something so unusual it was impossible to describe.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just had the scariest thing ever happen, and I should have gone with my gut on this. This kid, I'm so confused right now. This kid and his girlfriend were next to me at the river earlier. They seemed harmless. They were probably like in their mid to late 20s. And they didn't say anything to me at all the entire time I was next to them. And then all of a sudden they lost this ring. And the guy kept coming back, like hiking all the way back to where I was, like 3 different times. And so I was helping him look for this ring. And I asked him, like, hey, do you want me to take down your number? I'm going to be here just in case I find the ring. And I asked him this like 3 times, and he kept saying no and like insisted that I hide it somewhere random, which seemed so weird because the ring seemed sentimental. And I just had this feeling that something was off. And then 2 hours later, he texts me, hey, Katie, thanks for helping us earlier. Do you want me to, can we come over later to your campsite and have drinks? And I was like, literally, like, did I have a stroke? Like, I was like, sorry to like get this, sorry, but like, how did you get my phone number? And he was like, it was on the back of your rig. No, it's not. How did you know what rig I drive? Literally, I swear to God, we never talked about it. My phone number's not on the back of my rig. And he's like, oh, I saw your Instagram handle. I called my best friend. Can you get my phone number from my Instagram? She's like, no. I checked, no. Okay, I had this gut feeling that something was wrong. He texted me again at like 10 o'clock at night and was like, hey, we're gonna go for a moonlight hike. Do you want to come? And I'm like, I don't know you. No, what? And I just had this gut feeling that I needed to leave here. But I was like, they're so young. Like, and then just now, this motherfucker, I literally wake up like No, there's no, I just hear somebody out. I'm in the woods by myself camping. I hear somebody outside of my truck just creeping around, and I like jolt up. Usually when I hear things like this, it's nothing. And I look out, there's a fucking figure of a man outside of my window in the woods, and he doesn't have a light on. He's not saying anything. I just hear him trying to get into the cab of my truck. And I was like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, is this Katie? I fell in the river. I need a towel. Why didn't you say anything? Why am I waking up to hearing you creeping around my truck in the pitch black without making yourself known? And he just ran. He like ran away. Sorry, and ran away. Sorry? You weren't trying to, no, you're sorry you got caught. I just texted the number they texted me from, and I was like, dude, you do not roll up on some girl's campsite who's alone in the middle of the woods at 2 o'clock in the morning. You're lucky you didn't just get yourself. If you're watching this right now because for some reason you found me on social media and this is what this is all about, what the hell? I will actually, that would not have ended well for you. That was so weird. You know how scary it is to like look out your window and see a figure of a man staring through your window? Absolutely not.
Ya son las 7 de la noche. Hasta ahora no hay novedad de nada, todo está muy tranquilo, vamos a ver más tarde. Ya casi van a ser las 8 de la noche y no quiero parecer dramático, pero escuché que alguien silbó, así como cuando saludan, tipo... Y ya silbó una vez y me dio un poquito de miedo. Espero que sea un ave, o si no, no puedo dormir. Estoy acostado y justo en mi cabeza en el techo. Yo siento que algo se mueve. Y escucha. Parece que las tablas se abrieran. No sé si es la madera la que intenta abrir.
Diego describes what sounds like a large, heavy creature moving around above him, like it's trying to get in. Unable to sleep, he decides to see what it is.
Y voy a salir a ver qué encuentro en el techo. Y le voy a dar vuelta a la casa. Que no hay nada.
Although he successfully spent the night, Diego explains he has no idea what was moving around the cabin that night. Could it be that this strange creature that stalked Diego is what caused his cabin's haunted rumor? What do you believe?
This camper can be seen preparing his dinner during his 2-day camp at a natural reserve in the United Kingdom. After eating his dinner, he proceeds to go to sleep, only to get woken up after someone knocked at his van while the cameras were turned off.
So, I've just had the police here chapping.
Fortunately for him, he was only visited by the police, who were just concerned about his well-being because campers were not common in the area.
I don't get my hat on this is...
At least it was the cops who visited him, not some ill-intentioned people. What was supposed to be a normal night for this man quickly turns dangerous after he manages to capture this on camera.
So this frickin' thing, it's staring at me.
According to the person in the video, the creature followed him home after he heard it while he was in the woods earlier.
Followed me home from the gifting rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I think I don't know what to do. But it followed me home and it is...
The creature's eyes glowing brightly amidst the darkness is more than enough to scare any man unlucky enough to encounter it in person.
Absolutely staring at me right now. Alright.
Unfortunately, the identity of the creature that followed him that night is still unknown. Paranormal investigators from the YouTube channel Moxley's Paranormal World get the scare of a lifetime after this happens.
Watch them one more time for me, please.
Did you hear that phone?
After hearing the strange sound, they decide to investigate and identify the source, but unfortunately they fail to do so. A few hours after that initial encounter, they decide to rest in their camps when these two investigators suddenly feel something strange. In the end, they were unable to accurately identify the source of the anomalies they encountered.
A Japanese man finds a supposedly abandoned old house in the middle of nowhere, just surrounded by short trees and bushes. And that's when he gets the bright idea to go inside and explore this creepy place all by himself. As he enters the house, we can see the complete mess of a state that the rooms have been left in. But what's worse is as he explores the inside, he captures something terrifying that causes him to run out of the building. Watch closely. As he explores the house and heads back downstairs, he turns around only to feel the chills at the sight of a figure with dark grey skin just standing there. The sudden surprise startles him and he runs straight out of the building without a second thought. And as he takes another look at the house from the outside, he captures something absolutely chilling watching him from above. As he looks up at the building, a creepy figure can be seen just standing up at the top, watching him. It looks like he's safe from that distance, but after having that Yurei look at you like that, you probably wouldn't help but feel as if it cursed you, or placed some target on you to come after you. I know I would be paranoid forever just after seeing it. She was camping alone when she hears this. One night a woman was out camping solo in the middle of the Daring Woods, also known as the Screaming Woods, located in Kent, England. And the woods is known for being one of the most haunted places in the UK, along with a nearby village called Bluckley Village, which is the most haunted village in the UK. As she sets up her campsite, everything goes smoothly, but as it starts to get darker, things take a creepy turn.
I don't know if you can see, a Cadbury's Pot of Joy. Yogurt, basically, chocolate yogurt. There is a lot of noises in these woods. Where's my spoon? It's getting cold. Oh! Whoa. Get that fire going, I think. Now the rain, I think the rain stopped. Or it stopped enough for a fire anyway. Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. don't know if you're able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming.
She begins to hear what sounds like kids screaming off in the distance within the woods. However, she didn't think much of it and eventually dismissed it as just a strange noise. After finishing her meal, she begins to light a bonfire to enjoy the warmth as the sun goes down and it gets really cold in the dark. Then something chilling happens. Watch closely.
Honestly, I've never known a woods with so many strange noises. It's not just your normal birds and stuff and planes. There's a lot of planes. There's like this weird... Oh, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm tired, so I'm going to let this burn out in a bit, sit here and enjoy a fire for a little while, and then, yeah, head to bed. The hammock's really comfy, thank God, so I should sleep well, I would think. Where's my big bean? What was that noise? This is definitely odd. I've got no idea if you guys heard that or not, but honestly, I don't like it, I'm going to be honest. It's not deer, like I know what deer sound like, I've spent so much time with deer.
She hears more strange noises and looks around but is unable to find the source. So she goes back to her campsite and sets up a hammock and begins sleeping. Around 2 a.m, she's woken up to something disturbing.
Was that? I don't want to turn the light on because I'm pretty convinced there's been a person or persons. What the fuck? I've never wanted the morning to come as much as I do right now.
What sounds like footsteps walking around near her hammock can be heard in the middle of the night. Afraid for her safety, she stays still and keeps all the lights off, and after some time the footsteps just suddenly stop. She then musters the courage to search the campsite but finds no sign of anything. Whatever it was, it disturbed all the sleeping crows. This was the most scared she had ever been while out camping solo at night. It seems like the rumors are true about the Screaming Woods being one of the most haunted places in the UK, but let me know what you think.
So Pearl left. She heard another dog barking and she ran straight downstairs. So, this next part is going to hit different. This ain't just about ghosts. This is far worse. Because some of the darkest things wear human skin. Now, what we're about to dive into, these are real stories that will stick with you. The kind that make you double lock your door. Because sometimes, it's not the spirit world you should fear. It's the one we're living in right now.
He climbs in.
As soon as the car started moving, the student felt totally uneasy, like something was wrong but he couldn't quite place it. Without saying anything, he waited till the next time they slowed down and he flung the door open and ran away. This is why you should always trust your gut. In the early 1970s, a college student decided to hitchhike his way home after class. A car pulls up, a man offers him a ride, and he climbs in. As soon as the car started moving, the student felt totally uneasy, like something was wrong but he couldn't quite place it. Without saying anything, he waited till the next time they slowed down and he flung the door open and ran away. 2 years later, he's flicking through TV channels when he comes across this special interview with a death row inmate. And it's just the audio recording, so he hears the interviewer ask the inmate, "Why did you remove all the door handles inside of your car?" The man just goes, "Well, the first time I tried to kill someone, I picked up a college hitchhiker who got smart at some point and jumped out of my car. So, lesson learned, remove all the door handles." When they showed his picture, the student knew immediately that he was supposed to be the first victim of John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown, who had killed over 30 men and boys in his clown room and stuffed them into his basement.
If you see this man on the Appalachian Trail, that is your sign to run. This is Stephen Roy Carter. He was a man that lived in a cave along the Appalachian Trail in Pennsylvania, and he was known for fixating on solo female travelers. And to show you how much of a threat he was, let me tell you a story. This is coming from a deep dive episode I just did on some of the scariest Appalachian Trail stories. But in 1981, a woman named Rebecca and her girlfriend Claudia were hiking in the Appalachian Trail near where Stephen lived in his cave. Their first interaction with Stephen was actually when Rebecca went to the bathroom near one of the trail stops and actually saw Stephen inside the bathroom waiting for her, and he was completely naked. She was able to run away from that situation, but what she didn't know was as they were leaving that camp area, Stephen was stalking her and her girlfriend. Eventually, the two women found a secluded area along the trail to set up camp and hang out with each other, but what they didn't know was Stephen was watching them from the forest, and all of a sudden, he opened fire on them. Rebecca was tragically killed by Stephen, but Claudia was able to survive and run and get help. Eventually, Stephen was brought to court for this crime, and he said that the reason he did it was because he knew that the women were in a relationship, and that enraged him so much that he felt this overwhelming urge to kill. And maybe it's because he felt rejected by the women that he chose to open fire, but his defense tried to say that who wouldn't be mad by seeing two women put their homosexual lifestyle on display for all? Like, how can you blame him for what he did? Stephen is currently serving a life sentence, but this story is still one of the scariest things that's ever happened on the Appalachian Trail. And if you want to hear more of those stories, make sure you check out this episode of the Heart Starts Pounding podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
You have to be so careful of the feral people in the Appalachian Mountains. Creator Anna Costley had a horrifying experience in her Airbnb. Her family had rented an Airbnb deep in the Appalachian Mountains, and the first few nights were fine until they started to sense a very creepy vibe. Her brother had found an old notebook at the kitchen counter, and the note read, "I could feel her watching. I know I shouldn't have looked. She was closer to the house than I expected. The creek covered the sound of her steps if they made a sound. The light in the trailer never turns off. I have a feeling she knows why." And then it's signed right here. That's when they realized that there was a creek outside. She looked beyond the trees and she saw a trailer. You can see it right there. She panicked and she thought, if the trailer light is on when the sun goes down, I'm done. That night, the trailer light was on. You can see through the window a single dim light. She had to sleep in the living room, completely exposed to that view. That's the trailer during the day. She had a constant fear that the lady by the creek was watching her at night. Everyone online was commenting, insisting that she needed to get out, but her parents were very adamant about staying 3 more nights. Then there was the smell. One night, her dad shot awake from sleep. He had smelled the worst thing that he had ever smelled. He had thought that something was maybe burning in the kitchen, but everyone was asleep. That's when he realized that the smell was coming from the window. Then there was the hairbrush. On the morning she left, she found a woman's hairbrush on the ground next to her truck. The brush still had hair in it, and none of the family recognized who the hair belonged to, or who the brush belonged to. She had walked past that area so many times during the trip, and it had never been there before. Her brother had picked it up, and she immediately told him that he needed to put it down. They left as fast as they could, and she posted this TikTok, literally dancing, just thrilled to be leaving. She has not gone back to the Appalachians since, and she will not be returning. This is the TikTok of them very excited to be leaving. This is just a warning and a reminder that the Appalachian Mountains are literally older than dinosaurs. Be careful, the land has seen things, and she doesn't mess with it anymore. Come over here for more freaky.
This 16-year-old boy thought that he was a 500-year-old vampire. He put together a cult of other teenage vampires. Together they drank blood, slept hanging upside down, and killed people. Roderick Rod Farrell was born in Murray, Kentucky to teenage parents. His parents were only 17 years old when he was born. His dad just got up and left, leaving Rod to be raised by a single teen mom. She ended up getting into work just to survive. Rod's mom was also into some pretty dark things, which included vampires, and she introduced her very young son Rod into the world of vampires and rituals. Rod would later claim that when he was only 5 years old, he witnessed a woman be sacrificed in a vampire ritual. Rod and his mom would bounce back and forth between Murray, Kentucky and where her parents lived in Eustis, Florida. In Florida, Rod met a girl, 15-year-old Heather Windorf. They became friends and they stayed in touch even after Rod moved back to Kentucky. As Rod got older, his interest in vampires just got stronger and stronger. Eventually, it was the only thing he cared or thought about. He started dressing in only the color black, acting out, and got in so much trouble in school that he was expelled. He started to believe that he was possessed or that he was born without a soul. He started doing blood rituals and told people that he was a 500-year-old vampire. And this all, I guess, ran in the family. Because while all of this is going on with Rod, his mom, who's like 33 years old, was arrested and pled guilty to trying to get with, like physically, intimately get with a 14-year-old boy during a vampire ritual. And Rod is only like 16 years old when this is happening, so she's getting with a kid who's 2 years younger than her own teenage son. Rod, who's in Kentucky at this point, starts putting together his own vampire cult clan with him as the vampire cult leader. He starts turning other outcasts and troubled teens into vampires. And together they do vampire stuff like hang out in graveyards at night and drink each other's blood, as well as some other disturbing things. Rod and possibly also his vampire cult clan began killing animals. Rod killed a kitten, and then his vampire cult clan broke into an animal shelter at night where they just let dozens of the dogs go and also killed 2 puppies. And throughout all of this, Rod is still in contact with that 15-year-old girl he met in Florida, Heather. Heather was at that age where she wasn't getting along with her parents. She was rebelling and a bit troubled. Her and Rod would speak on the phone a lot and also write letters back and forth. And it was in these communications with Rod that Heather would say that her parents were horrible to her and that they were abusive, that she wanted to run away and be with Rod. So in November of 1996, 16-year-old Rod and his vampire clan, 19-year-old Dana, 17-year-old Scott, and 16-year-old Charity drove 12 hours to Florida to rescue Heather. When they made it to Florida, the clan of vampires met Heather in a graveyard at night, where they turned 15-year-old Heather into a vampire by having her drink Rod's blood. The 2 boys, Rod and Scott, then went to Heather's parents' house. The plan was allegedly just to steal Heather's parents' car. Instead, Rod and Scott broke into her family's home, and then 16-year-old Rod brutally killed Heather's parents, Richard and Ruth, with a crowbar. And it was Heather's 17-year-old sister that discovered her parents' bodies. Afterwards, the 5 vampires all fled in Heather's parents' car, but they were arrested 4 days later. Originally, Rod said that they were all innocent and said that it was a rival vampire clan that killed Heather's parents. Heather claimed that she had no idea that Rod was going to kill her parents and that she was totally innocent. And Heather was never charged with her parents' death. She was released immediately, free to walk amongst us, which has been a very controversial take. A lot of people don't believe that she's innocent and that she knew her parents were going to die, including her own sister. 16-year-old Charity Racy received 10 years in prison and was released in 2006. 19-year-old Dana Cooper received 17 years in prison and was released in 2011. 17-year-old Scott Anderson pled guilty and received life in prison, but that was later reduced to 40 years in prison, and he will be eligible for parole in 2031, which is not that far away. And if he is released, he will be 51 years old. Rod ultimately pled guilty as well, and despite being only 16 years old when the murders happened, he was sentenced to the death penalty, being the youngest person at the time on death row. But 22 years later, his sentence was reduced to life in prison. Though in 2020, Rod tried to get his sentence reduced again. He thought it was unfair that he'll be in prison for the rest of his life because he was a minor at the time. This was denied. And then Roderick Rod Farrell got married while behind bars in 2023. I thought this was really interesting. During Rod's trial, the same judge that ultimately sentenced him to death said that he felt like Rod's family failed him and that his mother deserved to be on trial as well.
This is Mark Burnt, one of the most disturbed pedophiles in American history. So for more than 30 years before he was arrested, Mark taught at the Miramonte Elementary School in Los Angeles County. Yes, this is a photo of him with a student. In 2011, authorities began investigating Mark because of some disturbing photographs that were turned into the police. The photographs showed children in Mark's classroom with their eyes blindfolded and their mouths covered in tape. And some of the photos, sorry, I'm literally gagging recording this, and some of these photos showed Mark offering these young children, elementary school children, girls, a blue spoon full of a milky white liquid. Investigators believe that this was Mark's own discharge. And they eventually found a spoon that matched the spoon in the photos in Mark's trash. It tested positive for semen, and when they did further investigation, it tested positive for Mark's DNA. Some of the photos recovered showed Mark holding children in his arms, putting his hands over their mouths. And in some of the photos, Mark had actually placed Madagascar cockroaches on top of these children on their faces and then photographed them. This whole investigation started when a local photo processing facility saw the photographs that Mark had turned in to be developed and then turned those over to the police. He was eventually charged with abusing almost 24 children from ages 6 to 10 years old, both boys and girls, and afterwards he was sentenced to 117 years in prison, meaning he will die in custody. Now these stories are just all too common in America, and I really don't know what we can do to combat this problem. And every time I cover one of these stories, I lose a little more hope and faith in humanity. So this is David Fail. He's from Colorado, and he was recently arrested on child sex abuse charges. David was a 6th grade school teacher in Colorado in the Douglas County School District. According to students, David would friend children on Snapchat and send them shirtless photos and photos of him blowing kisses. He would talk inappropriately with them, and children even said that he would have conversations with them about pornography while at school. Other kids went on the record and said that when they were in David's classroom after class or before class, he would pinch them on the buttocks. One child even claimed that David picked them up and sat them on his lap, and that they felt that David had something hard in his pants. And another child, like I said before, stated that David held onto their buttocks while they were having a conversation. Keep in mind, this guy's 49, and these are 6th graders we're talking about. He also told his students if they told their parents about what he was doing, he could go to jail. And he gave the kids hand massages in his classes. Like I said, students were talking about these things with each other so frequently that they actually nicknamed him Mr. Pedophile. This was a nickname that the kids gave to their own teacher. Now, thankfully, he's been arrested and charged with these acts against children. Hopefully the charges stick. But this is just another disturbing story from another day in America. I don't know how many goddamn stories like this we have to hear before we start making some sort of institutional change to protect our kids.
How many of you can attest that evil is at an all-time high and that the veil is thinning? Peace is definitely disappearing from the world. Look around you. Look at the wars that's going on. Look at everything that's happening all across the globe. One could say that the second horseman has rode. But we won't dive into that yet. Stay tuned for part 3 of It's All Connected. In the next video, we're going to be talking about the end time spirits, the angels bound in the Euphrates, the 4 horsemen, the trumpets, and the war in the heavens. I really enjoy doing these type of topics because doing the paranormal videos, it's fun, it gets views, but there's no real, there's no realness there. With It's All Connected, we dive into, ancient gods, grimoires. And now we're going to be diving into the Bible a little deeper. I find that the time we're living in is very interesting. I'm not afraid at all. And the reason why HFC dives into these deep, dark topics, because many won't dare to do so. I am a believer in Jesus Christ, Yeshua, and I don't fear at all. Yes, I know I'm a target, but you know what? I'd rather be a target than to be left alone. When you're left alone and there's nothing happening to you, there's something wrong there. Some may argue and say, well, you know what? I don't have the light in me. Fair enough. I told you this. I'm a black sheep. I am the one the world rejects. I am not, one of those, ministers. I am not a minister. I am not an evangelist. I am just a man who's been through it, who's going through it, who knows what spiritual warfare is, and I'm teaching. I'm sharing with you my own experiences, how I fight against it. We explore these topics not for curiosity, but to bring the darkness into light, to expose it, all in the name of God. And I know there's a lot of controversy there. God is not the real God's name. Look, we'll dive into that when it comes to it's all connected. But I know I went on a rant there. For those of you who are new to this channel, we dive into the paranormal, the spiritual, the things that go bump in the night, and the disturbing truths behind humanity. This channel ain't for the faint of heart. It's for the real ones. It's for the black sheep. It's for the ones the world rejects. And you know what? This is a safe place for all of you out there who are going through it. Always know that I love you, alright? Until then, HFC signing out. Peace!